offline? Why does it say offline? Stop this nonsense, man. Really. YouTube. Live. Offline. Am I live or am I offline, YouTube? Decide. Right, I was looking at this menu. So the parameter should be what exactly? Point it to the node. Or does it even matter, because yeah, that's what it should be. It should be the tree item ID as a string. But I don't think it's even going to be necessary because this thing is very short-lived. Okay, collapse. Oops. That's the ground. Just lights in my eyes. Basically, I quickly want to add to the tree view menu, right click, tree view right click menu. I want to add, just add a couple of new commands, like expand all and collapse all. There's not much space on this menu, it's quite full, to be honest, but maybe I can remove separators to get more space or something. I don't know. This, I can This is adaptive on the fly. That's the amount that show here before the more show. So that can be reduced, obviously, but still this menu looks cool. Right, so where do we want to add these? Basically, I want to do this, but not as a submenu. What if I just add a parameter here? Not to create a submenu. Very many having submenu. So this function, parent menu, create one menu, create one submenu, create one submenu. But then that is only supposed to be called from the create submenu. So why doesn't so I don't see why we don't just do this. Refactor that, and yeah. This display gets passed in this line. And then we pass in the submenu to this function. But then why do we need to pass the label in? We use the label in to create command. Right? That should be then renamed. Like create command menu items or something. Create menu items. Yeah, create command menu items. Fine. Create. And this doesn't need to return anything. Okay, that's no. Yeah, that's right. Yes, of course. 10 syntax. Wasn't that bad. I mean, that can just be menu. And menu I can separate out. I can use submenu item for each command. Oh. I just of course. Right, that I don't think will do anything now. Let's just check. Label, is it used? No, it's not used anymore. So it's only used when it's I think we can just delete it from there. I don't know if I'm on the right track or not. Label. And create text command submenu should actually, there should be another help here. Create command or create command submenu. And only the text one is this. Actually then, yeah, command test, commands, array. Then that can just be, should just be this, create command menu items. And the callback would be don't want to generate text command. Just yeah. As parameters, we should have some sort of owner information. Anyway. Not a priority. Just waiting for it to build now. Oh no. We need an implementation. Like this needs to come back to the tree view that sent it when it gets activated. I must have some generic notion of it. There they are. Collapse all and expand all. Bullet, capital N. So I was looking for something like that. Max number of items per submenu. For new submenu, new submenu appears. One, two, three, 4, 12. What's going on there? Are you into the screen, right? menu Y. Minus 11. It still fits on the screen, but it's after I add 2 more commands, but it's not hmm. Create command submenu. So yeah, the label gets passed in. I wonder if we should create it even if there's no items. Anyway, submenu with no items. Anyway, it doesn't happen in our code. Anyway, but then this does this thing, and this does nothing, can do nothing, that's fine. Let me just do that. This variable. Simple. Okay, just doing a little bit of refactoring there on this code. Why is it moaning about all the text command submenu? And just making sure helpers, yeah. And that calls create menu label. Oh, that's because I'm calling the wrong function. Should be create command submenu. So create text command submenu calls and returns create general command submenu. It does this commands for texting. Quickly done something. And we need to skip the label. That I want to check in a second. It's not my top priority. There again, also, we need to skip the label. We do need to escape the labels. That's not even a question. That's not actually a question. The question is, where do we need to? Or rather, yeah. Or rather, yes, we need to check where we are doing it. And we can test that by, I think, doing something like this. Should we tree view or just tree? Tree view. Right. So if we did something like that, and actually no, we mustn't escape the labels because we maybe want to put in things like this. That's a good question. I don't know if we should escape those labels, or if we should leave it to the caller to just decide what they want to do. Because you may want to add shortcut keys like that, and then you actually don't want to escape the label because then you want those shortcut keys to be shortcut keys. So actually the question is not that straightforward. Okay. Anyway, but I need to add this tree view, expand all. So when we set up this thing, there's this thing called param test. We attach to the ID of the new command the parameters structure in the command, and it's a pair. What we actually need is something like this, right? Oh, we do. We started adding something like that. Signal handling context, params 2, the call method context, this whole thing needs a lot of thought. I want something like, I wonder if it's almost like interfaces, or it's like, I want to literally be able to say, let's just search for params 2 in the code and see if I'm using it. Generic command test. And that thing is a pointer to an object. Okay. Oops. What I effectively want is for the tree view. Yeah. So I want it like actually I want to say something like calling object equals this. There's no such thing. That's squiggly in red. And then if there's a calling object, then what this function should do is behind params2 like this. If calling object, there's no such thing yet. Let's say if there was, maybe do something like params2 so map the new imaginary experiment. But I don't like that because so there's one of two possibilities. I could, yeah, no, I don't. Oh, gosh. Doesn't C++11 have the answer? The pragmas, I mean not pragmas, what do you call them? Pragmas, lambdas. Anyway, let me not do this now, because I just want to get this working. But then we'll do something like, object name and parameters. That itself is also wrong. The parameter should be an array of variants. Something like automatable. Which everything about com. Make my work. Feels like a shift. Classes like tree. That I don't like. But then our tree view class is multi-inherit. I'm not a fan of multiple inheritance. That's not wrong. There's nothing wrong with multiple inheritance. Yeah, it can cause funnies. I don't know, I'll try to avoid it somehow. Like, I did not really class multi-inheritance. But model view controller. Class class. I just made that up now. It's not a real thing. Anyway, that 3D graph this whole thing is it's actually very complicated just to do really simple things. I don't necessarily want to force some specific pigeonhole solution on the entire code base. Yeah, it could also have flexibility. I don't know, this whole thing needs a lot of thought. Semi-object variable. I'm just not sure what that object is. It literally the calling object. I do want to pass the calling object in as the tree view, but then what? What do we do with it? Like, now we got to point it to the tree view, and then what? P object. Oh, there we have it. Add under 2. Add under 2. Etc. Etc. Add under 2. Generic one test. What does it do with it? It calls generic one do, which just passes a pointer to the object, and the object just gets called later second command handler do command with a pointer to the object. Yeah, that's really straightforward. I mean, what if the object doesn't exist anymore? Can't that happen? No, that can't really happen. Unless you're doing something very weird. So then we would just have something like interface tree view. So I'm already doing the same concept, which I'd forgotten about, for the preview area. But actually, why not do this then? Let's do this tree view. It's just inline the damn thing. And what's wrong with that? I don't fully like this for a few reasons. Also, there's no generic command experiment do preview. That doesn't even make sense. There's nothing per se wrong with what I'm doing, but I think showing squiggly lines because there is no such function. So now we have this thing called the tree view interface, which derives from command handler. Here's the thing, we could have 10 different tree views. Okay. So one of the problems is we want to generically easily have a way to know which one must process the called menu and must process the events. Like if we had a multi-document interface, or bilingual document, or a multi-section document, then there's a whole bunch of different tree views, right? And we now then want to add this expand all command. And we didn't know which tree view. I'm looking for just a neat system where I can sort of attach, but I want to be able to do it like easily. I just want to be able to like link commands to. We can do this also with possibly with boost signals. I'm not mad about that, but I think there's a way to do this with boost bind. I don't know. Anyway, I don't want to decide right now. That's not the point of. Right now, I just need. So look, the question is, this thing is this. What I don't like about this is it's like one. There's only one instance of this in the controller, and you could have 10 different tree views, and they're all sending the commands through this one, and it sends the pointer to the caller, which then just gets cast and says, "Oh, you're that tree, you do this, that tree, that tree." It's almost like there should be one of these per tree view, and it should be something like class interface, which doesn't exist. That's something I just made up. And then which could have some functions like do command or whatever. Abstract, say, and in the tree view, the actual limit tree class could either multi-inherit from this thing and then override the command handler. I have a, it's not wrong, but why don't I like it? I don't know. Not wrong either. It's a bit, what if we had like something for node commands, and there's a document with 10 million nodes, but we don't want to create 10 million instances, because that would be silly. So where do you draw the line between just having one that fields commands for a type of class of object, for instances of a type of object, I mean, it would be silly if every node, well, not really, every node could just inherit from interface as well. It would add 4 bytes to the virtual method table, so it would use a lot of memory. But so it doesn't feel right. The other possibility is, instead of inheriting multi, we could have another class like a tree view interface that either inherits from limit tree multi and interface and literally just does some little stubbing going on, and then it has access to everything, and then, or we do that and just have limit tree, and then in each tree the object has a pointer to its interface, which it can just create in the constructor. Yeah. Just thinking about different ways to do this. Yeah, and then it could just pass the, yeah, and then this thing could be we could probably have a generic interface. That's interface. That is not cool. Alright, interface. Yeah, I think. I think class is called interface. I could do something else. Alright, so we have it. We could have an interface. Okay, as like a generic, and then that could call something like objects do command. I'm just thinking out loud. I'm really just thinking out loud. Then for the tree view, how would we do this? It needs to pass the instance down. There we create things like this interface. Basically, we want something like this. We want a tree view, and that can be an interface. Okay. It's terrible. interface. That does not make sense. That's not quite right, but anyway, it's not wrong, but it's just a slightly more generic way of looking at this. Then, so what I want is basically something like that. So it passes in calling object equals this, and then that calling object becomes that p object instance for commands beginning with tree view slash. That tree view slash will dump it in this command handlers bucket, so it gets sent. But we only need one of these for a whole lot of different things. Like everything could be interface. Preview area. Anything that has an interface. But then we only need one of these. That doesn't. Like this. Generic. Okay. We don't need to create. Yeah, just like that. Alright. That's just hypothetical. And then other things like, I don't know, /5 or whatever. Or /66 or whatever. I don't know. I'm really thinking out loud on this. Generic interface. Would map to interface. The command just has. Why does it have an object? It wouldn't have an object because it would be the object. So it would be something like class interface. But this must not go in header file, obviously. It's like there's so many different. Every time I just evolve it slightly, iteratively, to make it slightly more flexible or generic than the day before. But it's like I don't know where it's going actually. Right, so cloud interface, and then a tree view interface, and then we don't need this anymore. Oh, we do need it because oh yeah, then we actually want to pass in. Oh, but this is not the tree view that generates this. Error tracker menu. Okay, what I want to do is put, this is actually tricky, populate context menu, limit tree equals populate context menu with all the edit stuff, but I want to add the collapse stuff, which is not the same as the edit stuff. I actually want to add it here. But I don't necessarily want it at the bottom or the top, because I like the cut, copy, paste at the bottom and the top. I like the cut, copy, paste at the bottom. And cut, copy, paste at the bottom. See, now it's not fitting on the screen anymore. Anyway, this is, I haven't changed anything yet. Because of these. Anyway, cut, copy, paste, delete. It's like logical at the bottom. Not logical, but I mean, the collapse all and whatnot. It's not really edit commands. It's not to edit the document. Maybe I must just put it at the bottom for now. But people are used to accessing these at the bottom are then going to be. Yeah, it's a bit weird. Because that thing where I added the tree view commands doesn't actually. It's not supposed to know about tree views really. It's just supposed to be like a generic node edit thing. Shouldn't be both, should be something like tree get interface. We then add a hypothetical function. I'm just thinking out loud here. I'm not actually coding the interface. But this thing doesn't know about it. Doesn't have a pointer to the tree view when it's preparing this menu. That's the problem. It's like this. should maybe be, yeah. But then it's going to be at the bottom. Which I don't want it at the bottom. Damn it. So the tree view interface is a pointer back to the tree, and mimic will do command. And the control part is supposed to just and then we won't have an interface tree view, that won't be used. Maybe. Although we might do it now. What is wrong? I didn't see a problem. There. Did you forget something? Yes. Yeah, blah blah. Amateur. Okay, cancel. Okay. That seems like a bit much work. I'm not just being lazy. What if we just publicly inherit that thing from interface, and then that thing is the interface? And then instead of get interface, are we already using multi-inheritance? I think so. Set stuff. XML importer. But it's all things that could be refactored to not use multiple inheritance. Anyway, it's not the worst thing. Instead of that, we do that. Okay. I mean, yeah. We can add okay. It's not the calling object, it's just the object. You know, it's a custom object. And then that will just be, but I don't want to just call it object, because I need a slightly better name. Owner object, custom object, calling object, owner object. But it's not necessarily the owner. calling object, custom object, p object. Object. That's our object. Okay. And then this will just be this, as I originally wanted it. But the problem with this is it's going to sit at the damn bottom. Maybe I should add some system for inserting at a particular position. Ouch. Okay. So we're going to really try this actually. Even though I don't like it. It's almost done, so. Oops, I deleted that. Init.cvp. I'm really overthinking this stuff. Why the... Oh, that was probably the number of other menu items on the screen, which is probably higher than 11. 1, 2... Yeah, channel cluster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, I don't know. Anyway. No, that doesn't make sense. Still doesn't make sense. Times of an age, times of an age. Anyway, so now we must actually implement this stuff. Expand or collapse on. Um, okay. This is the actual thing we're supposed to do. It's opposite of expand, not contract, collapse. So now in theory we should have 2 new commands on the tree view menu, but there's at the bottom, which I don't like because of complicated reasons relating to. You'd think it would be easy to, since it's our smart software, to decide where the damn command goes in the menu. Okay, collapse all expand. Cut, copy, paste, collapse all expand all. Just gonna put it there for now, I guess. No, it's probably okay. Collapse all, and it does nothing. Why? So it's not working. It's possible this still says tree view / in it. There's a whole lot of things that could be going wrong there. I could either build in debug mode and profile it. I mean, not profile, and just try, step through. It's probably the simplest. Add under 2. Oh, that isn't right for one thing. Oh, it is right, yeah. Wait. Adding. So this is supposed to replace this pair story. Duplicate a king. It's supposed to move from params to params 2. Or params 3, because I don't like params. Or params 4. I don't know, whatever system I end up deciding I like. There's a lot of things to think about here. Like, this generic command stuff could tie into the client-server stuff, like the API stuff, to make that accessible, objects accessible, or could tie into the whole scripting system to make the object scriptable in a generic way. That's why this stuff needs more thought. If you to do it very nicely, you could have a system where you add a method like expand all or whatever, and boom, you can suddenly do that potentially from your Lua scripts or from other types of scripting or from the API or server stuff or from menus. So it becomes, it's a bit like I'm reinventing COM automation badly. Anyway. Yeah. That is sadly a true summary of what I'm doing. Okay. Right, so now let's just check what it calls this. Okay, so I want to have a breakpoint in here, and oh, I think I know why it's not what I think. Because watch, if I search for params 2, it gets invoked from generic command test. But when I add these commands, I bet you I didn't use that. I used the generic command experiment. What's the callback? Which calls generic command and doesn't do the params 2 thing. Is he sitting in the top of controller? Generic command test takes the ID and a single signal handling context. Isn't called by anything. WTC uncommand generic. Oh, now my head is spinning. TC event handler test inherits from WX event handler. Toolbar. So I've used this before in this toolbar stuff. But then, jeez. So there's two things to do here. Either this ugly stuff must be refactored. Phew. This create command menu items is hard coded to bind an event handler to that ugly stuff. Yeah, the stuff is a bit complex. Either the stuff here at the top of controller, yeah, must do a similar thing to what generic command test does. Check if we have a parameter mapping in params2. I don't know if this even makes sense because it's now bound. It must make sense. Even up to command and 2. And that's not going to work, is it? I want to call it iter because below we have iter in certain time. Okay, that's 1 and 2. Where is this? Capital shade. I think that'll fix it. That'll make it work, but I'm not sure. Okay. And handler. Collapse of runtime check failure. Yeah, that makes sense. It does make sense. I'm not being sarcastic. I probably have different signatures, function signatures for the callbacks, for the params2 stuff. Or does it? No, wait. Actually, it doesn't make sense. Interface to command. Ah, wait a minute. You know that multiple inheritance I talked about possibly causing problems. This could also be an issue, yeah. I need to do this. When you have multiple inheritance, at this point they can be different. I'm not sure how it works either. I can't remember the details. Anyway, I don't think that's the problem though. It's more likely. But let's just see what happens now. Boom, we're getting there. So that was it, yeah. That was one of the, yeah, that's one of the counterintuitive things with multiple inheritance is you may have to typecast your this pointer to the generic object that you're interested in using, because you can get two different values for the this pointer depending on what you cast it to. So you think it's just one object, this, but the value of the pointer changes depending on the type. That is a massive gotcha. That's one of the reasons I avoid multiple inheritance. Alright, anyway, so here we are. And let's check what the command is. Collapse all. Should be collapse all children. Yeah, not collapse all. Okay, expand all. So that's done. Right? Why didn't I expand all? Collapse all. Right,